Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sustainable Living with Shilpa Reddy, powered by Planetgreen's Farm Natura, a new beginning to your life. On this episode of Planet Green's Sustainable Star, I have with me a dedicated and disciplined actor who hails from two of the legendary Telugu film families. He has been my friend like family for over 20 years. People know very little about him as he's private and likes to maintain a very low profile. Let's welcome the ever charming and composed, talented actor Sumanth on my show. Hi, Sumanth. Suman, thank you for coming on my show. And today we are going to reveal a lot about Suman to our viewers.
My pleasure. It's been so long. We haven't seen each other in so long. It's good. Thank you for inviting me, though.
Pleasure is mine. So, Suman, to start with, you were raised by your grandfather, the legendary N.R. Garu. And as much as I know of him, he was always a highly ethical person with strong principles and immense love for the family. How was it growing up with him, and what kind of impact did he have on you, and what did you imbibe from him?
Not enough.
Okay.
I should have actually imbibed, learnt, absorbed a lot more from him, considering that I grew up all my life I've been brought up by him. So I want to get that out of the way. I should have learnt a lot more from him. I have too many flaws. If I was better, I should have learnt a lot more from him. Anyway, I think getting to the point, the quality most about him that I really sort of at least absorbed, I think, to a certain extent is simplicity, number one. And even though he had a lot of money, he could have done so much with bought a bunch of cars, invested in a lot of real estate,
Yes.
he could have done so much. He could have gone off in that sphere, but instead,
Absolutely.
he always wanted to give back to his, he called it his mother, like the film industry always called it his mother. So he wanted to give it back.
Okay.
So whatever he got from the film industry, so all the money, everything that he made, he always put it back in the studio or the film school, which wasn't, the monetary,
Not a lucrative business
it wasn't
idea, but
it wasn't the best return on investment possible.
Yes.
But for him, it was all about what made him happy and his passion. And I think I learned that most from him, is to kind of invest more in your what you like and what you love, instead of just thinking about money and fame and
multiplying the money.
and multiplying the money. And I think I learned that from him the most, and of course simplicity and I think
And
a certain amount of discipline.
certain amount.
I think he was always I would say 95% discipline.
That's too high standards, right?
Regarding everything, he was like a creature of habit. I have to wake up here, I have to go for my morning walk here, I have to eat only this much, I have to have only this much to drink, I have it was very, very methodical,
highly disciplined.
highly disciplined. Me, I'm probably disciplined maybe 75% of the time.
But okay,
80%
compared to him, I think all of us fall under 50.
All of that kind of standard is very.
I think that generation is not there anymore.
It's not.
Right? We kind of waver away and get distracted.
We get too distracted. We get distracted by our phones. We get distracted by this.
Absolutely.
So,
So, Suman, what are the few interesting things that only you knew about your grandfather, since you shared such a close bond with him?
There are many, some of which I can't say.
Okay, something that you can share with all of us.
He was a charmer.
He was a charmer.
Yeah, he was a charmer. Especially he had a way of just talking to the ladies, which was very charming. I don't know how.
They just fall
but a
in
lot
love
of people
with
know
him.
that. A lot of people know that about him. Especially that even till his dying days, for example, the way he used to talk to his nurses.
Oh, okay.
Till almost his last days. Like, he had that, he was very charming
Charming.
towards women.
I think you cannot stop falling in love with him. The way he speaks and the kind of wisdom with which he speaks. And I don't know if I have to share, even my grandmother is like always used to fondly talk about your grandfather. And it was always about how he spoke.
Right.
So that's something we know, Sumanth. Something that we do
something
not know.
everybody knows. But he's extremely charming towards women.
Oh.
In a very nice way. In a nice, respectable
In a nice way,
and,
he knew how to respect them, and he knew how to make them feel, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So recently you mentioned that you started gardening.
Yeah.
And how did that start? Why did you start now? And what kind of plants do you grow?
Well, actually, this is something that I probably picked up from him. This is one more aspect. Like, he probably had it right from the beginning. And then, like, he used to, go to this farm and grow vegetables for the entire family. He used to do that.
I think once or twice even we got those vegetables.
Yeah. I think he must have sent it to your house also.
Yes.
And this was towards the later part of his life. Like, he started doing that. And he always had a green thumb. But that he was more inclined towards, I think, like farming as far as like vegetables and things like that, fruits and vegetables. Like, and I think I am starting to get that from him right now. Because I spend a lot of time in my house and basically the entire garden, like our backyard, the big space, that it's everything due to him. I'm just kind of sort of continuing what he had started. I'm probably elaborating it a bit more. So I'm more into flora right now.
Okay.
Like, he was more into vegetables.
Okay.
Like his backyard, like literally in the backyard of the house, he used to grow vegetables. I'm not into that as yet.
Okay.
I would still rather come to Sustain Cart and pick up my vegetables and grow in my backyard.
For sure.
And in my backyard, I will grow like flowers. So right now I'm into like, I like a lot of green more than like flowers right now. I'm into creepers and climbers.
Okay.
So I'm trying to like do that to my house.
What does it do to you, gardening? How do you feel when you do it?
I don't know. I'm starting to get an emotional attachment to the plants in the house. I normally don't get emotionally attached to many things at all. But like even when I see like a plant sort of dying in my house, I get upset. Or like a tree that's like growing old and withering away, like that bothers me.
Right.
Don't
tell me you're not emotionally attached. You're emotionally attached to your dogs.
Yeah.
They're your babies.
Yeah. Like I think, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
So true.
But nice that you also developing that bond with plants. That's very, very important, I think, in today's day and age.
Something that's happening just recently.
And like organically, naturally.
I would just say like almost like it's happened in the last like 2 months.
Oh, it's very recent.
It's very new.
And I also heard, I remember Supriya mentioning that your grandmother had an envious rose garden. Did you learn or pick up something from her?
I think it was before I was born.
Oh, okay.
That was a house in Begumpet.
Where she had the rose garden.
I wasn't born there.
Okay.
And after she had her accident, she had like her accident and she fell sick. So I think that kind of took a backseat.
Okay.
But before that, she was like when the Begumpet house, like, she had this, I was told, I've seen pictures too. I wasn't born then.
Right.
But she was one of the pioneers of like sort of this rose garden culture and like, the gardening culture in Hyderabad after she moved from Chennai.
Right.
And she did that to a certain extent even in our Banjara Hills house. But
you have a big backyard.
She had an eye for gardening and she entered like a lot of her things into like these flower shows.
The competition or
these flower
shows and really to that extent. Yeah. Oh, I remember Nag mentioning that also on the show.
So back then, I think that's what usually like, I think that was the in thing for the women to do. I think the fashionable thing, like these flower shows. I don't know if they're still there in Hyderabad.
So. I know they
like
are
Ooty, Kunur and all, I know they're very prevalent. But I don't know in Hyderabad if they are. But
They were. I don't know if they're still.
okay, we should get it back.
Yes. Okay. So I know both your maternal and paternal side of the families, and they're legendary families, affluent families, and being in Hyderabad, both sides are so simple. Like they're simple people, minimalistic, and always maintained a low profile. Did any of your paternal, maternal figures set this tone for the family? I mean,
Yeah, I think most of our family members, I won't say all, but most of our family members, like, wherever I look, relative to like, their sort of monetary status or whatever, like, they tend to be, live quite simply. Whether it's my maternal side or my,
who do you think set the tone for both sides of the families?
I think my grandfather to start off,
yeah,
to,
okay.
to start off with, and like, my father is quite simple again, and then my mother too, my sister too, and again from my paternal side.
I know everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone is
paternal
so
side also,
simple.
like, like Ramana and Maya, Venki, Suresh, Rana, they're all pretty simple.
Yes.
Like, into how they live, like, what they drive, not everyone. In my family, we have
The majority of
majority
them.
of them.
Majority of
Majority of them. It's
Yeah.
just, I think that just came kind of naturally to me, and I kind of took it like to a further extent because I'm kind of very drawn towards minimalism, and I'm drawn towards need-based living.
How did you
not
refrain?
want-based living, like need-based.
Need-based. That's very difficult.
Yeah.
If you see now,
Yeah.
it is a task for many to live like that.
Right.
And given the showbiz
Yeah.
industry that you come from and the family background, how did you refrain this temptation?
It's either in you or not in you. Like, that's
Antena?
all.
Okay.
Ante. Because I see a lot of other people, like a lot of actors, very simple, like, who live very simply, like, even in Hollywood for that matter. Like, even if you look at someone like Keanu Reeves or,
He's an extreme, yeah.
you have many, like, even in
Yeah.
Hollywood, like here in Bollywood, even
Yeah.
in Tollywood, like even the Tamil industry also, many actors are very simple.
Tamil, yes.
yeah.
Down south, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. And so it's there. And I kind of like, took it, I remember like Chaitanya told me one day to see like this documentary. He's also kind of into that need-based living.
Yes, he is, yeah.
And he needs his cars though. But
yeah, that I know.
But again, that's
because
a need.
he's a racer, right?
No, that's a need. That's a need for him.
For him,
he
it's
won't
a
spend
need.
on anything else. He'll probably spend on his
Only
cars.
his cars and bikes, yes.
Yeah, and me, so I saw this documentary on Netflix about minimalism.
Yes, the two men.
Yes. Okay, that again, they take it to an extreme.
Extreme, yeah.
But like, I sort of could associate with that, and like, I do that to a certain degree in my life. Like, I have, I do spend like on important things. Like, I still drive a branded car, like, or like, for example, like something that's very important to me, like a backpack. I make sure that I get the best backpack. I won't like, or like if it's a black suit for a guy,
right,
which is, if you don't put on weight, will last you for the
rest of your life.
The rest of your life. So I'll make sure that it's like probably a nice Xenia or something like that. Like, so on things that are important and which will last and which add value to you, to your profession or whatever, I don't like skim.
Those, yeah. But you don't feel the need to have multiple of those.
No.
No.
That's like I feel like, a man, like a gentleman, like a man probably needs to have like 5-6 good suits. We are lucky, unlike you ladies sometimes. You're the ones who have to deck out and all that. Like, a couple, 2-3 good watches, like, things like that. Like, I don't hesitate on those certain things, the important things,
right,
which you need.
Right. Okay. Still you're simple, Sumanth.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. You've been into, the game of fitness, health and fitness from very many years.
Yeah.
And that time, I don't remember many film stars training regularly, being conscious about how they ate or, all of that. And it's been more than 20 years that I've known you.
Yeah.
How did you sustain, and has there been any inspiration behind starting and sustaining it for so many years?
I wish I could have been like when I started off, like 25 years ago, getting into fitness. I was still very naive. Like, I didn't know like a lot of things. I just used to watch my uncle Nag work out. I used to watch your husband work out. We used to Preetham and me used to work out at country club together.
Oh.
But we all actually we did not know even at that point like
The right way of
exactly how to work out, exactly like how our diet should be, like how much we should rest. These important things, like actually now it's maybe like about 15 years ago. Since 15 years it's become like really come into the limelight, all
even
these
the
things.
knowledge.
So we were all very naive even when I started. Like I was very naive. I just used to go to the gym and lift weights, but like I never used to think about like my diet, for example, how much like protein I would take, like so.
But you've
so
been
all
consistent.
the effort, I was always consistent.
That's what I'm saying.
I was
that's
always
very
consistent. Thankfully, that's actually like been very good for me, because even now I'm very consistent with my workout. And you're one of the person I look up to, because I see your fitness videos and like
you do.
I really like admire like your fitness regimen.
Thank you so much.
It's mostly I get inspired by people I see, like how they keep themselves fit. Like you're one of them for sure. I'm not saying it because we are here, because I mentioned to so many people, because I'm training my niece Satya. She comes home and she works out with me. She lifts weights. So
really? She started too?
Yeah, she started too. So I keep giving you as an example.
How sweet.
Like look at her Instagram videos as to how like your form and everything.
Okay,
things
like that. Okay.
So I tend to look at like people that I know, pick up certain things from everyone, like people that I admire. Like I'm not too much into it to the point of
but you've been consistent.
I'm very consistent.
You're not overdoing anything. That's what I'm saying.
I'm very consistent. Like I no matter what, I have to work out like 5 days a week.
What does it do to you? I want people who are watching to know consistent training does something to you. Like how does it translate into your life?
I just get like this boost of happy hormones. I don't even know how to explain it. It's
and
like
the day goes by great.
It's only when you work out, like it's almost like meditative for me. Like and I kind of like modify my workout too. I mix a little bit of yoga into my weight training.
Oh, you started yoga too now?
Yoga, like I don't know whether I told you this, but I started yoga. I actually went to Isha about like not for the meditation aspect. I still haven't gotten into that spirituality and all that as yet. Maybe I will later. But I went for the yoga.
You
to Isha. I went for their 2-week yoga course.
Yes. I didn't know this.
This was about 6 years ago. Quietly I went.
I didn't know that you went to Isha.
I don't. No, I'm not into it like the
but
way
you learned
are.
It from there.
I had a trainer. I had a tutor here for almost a year.
Okay.
And then I went to Isha for like I took an almost like a 3-week course there, 2 to 3 week course.
Yeah, the 21-day Hatha
yoga.
Yeah.
Wow. Like so I'm pretty. If I practice my yoga, like I regularly, like I'm pretty. I won't say I'm like a expert at it, but like somewhere between intermediate and expert.
Do you see difference in how you feel when it's weight training and yoga? Like, say yoga, you're saying you're not spiritual as yet, but then once you do it, it takes you towards that. Like all this need-based living,
right?
Emotional connect with the plants. All of that could be happening because you're tuning your body through yoga.
Yeah, it's maybe because I work out. Like my workout regimen is also like I lift weights, but I kind of like mix some practices of yoga, which is yoga is actually nothing but how do I put it? Isometric. It's almost like isometric. Using your body weight. Combining it with flexibility and breathing. Correct. And I try to mix that into weight training.
Okay.
Like in my own way sometimes.
Okay, got it. Yeah. So that works for you.
Yeah. Okay. So my regimen is kind of fluid. Okay. Like suddenly like I'll see something interesting on the net, on Instagram or something like that, and I'll try to do those.
So
those
basically,
techniques.
consistency is the key.
Consistency is the key, and also try and be fluid. Don't stick to that same
thing.
particular thing.
Very important.
So to make it interesting, I try to do that.
Super. So what practices did you see your grandparents have at home that are towards conscious living or sustainable living? Do you still practice them, or did you add something new?
My grandfather did a lot of, I think, through his farming, many through his sustainable stuff, what you call sustainable right now. He may have been doing it in his farm or even in his backyard, by growing your own compost, things like that, just
for
small
them
things.
It was common. Now we're making a big deal out of.
Exactly. So things like that. I don't know in particular what he did, but I think the main thing, growing your own plants. That is a big thing. He practiced that right in his own household from many years. And then of course he had a much bigger farm outside the city where he used to grow vegetables for everyone. But he tried to do
with the soil.
He tried to do that. He always had this farmer's mentality, and he always had this green thumb. So he was before, ahead of his time. Right.
So Sumanth, you started your career as an actor before social media was booming. What was it like before and now, in the sense of your thinking and people's perception about actors? And did you have to handle stardom differently then and now?
I'm a contrarian in this thing because in regarding social media. Given a choice, I wouldn't be on social media.
I thought so.
But the thing is, it's not that it, like everything else, everything has got its pros and its cons.
Absolutely.
And it's social media, the way I use it, I use it to promote my films or something like that.
That's all I see.
Nothing beyond that. Nothing beyond that, because but again, it's a part of evolution, and we should all accept it. And take the best from it. And but me, I kind of use it in a very limited way. I started using it only predominantly to keep in touch with my friends in the US. Because all my college friends in the US, that was my best way to kind of see how their kids are growing up, what they're up to and stuff, being in touch with them.
Again, need-based. How much you need it, you're using it only that much.
It started off like that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on social media.
Do you scroll? Instagram?
Yeah, sometimes I do. I told you, I pick up I see your fitness videos. I see sometimes I pick up certain new things about fitness. There are many interesting things in social media. I don't scroll to see what people are doing, what people are up to.
For more educating yourself,
updating. What people are wearing. For me, that is secondary.
I know.
I do I still I have an interest in for example, cars. Even though I don't to own many and collect many and all that. I admire people who do, and I have an interest in technology. I have interest in the automotive industry. So I
men and machines. You can't pull them apart.
So I just scroll to for example, my co-star of Sitaram, Dulkar, is big car freak.
Oh, is he?
So I used to go see, I scroll, see his what he's done with what car he's got. He also doesn't like to kind of show what he's got. He's pretty simple that way.
And do you get any nasty comments?
I do not read my mentions at all.
At all?
At all.
Wow. That's
amusing. I make it a practice not to read my mentions.
None. Do you have a Twitter account?
Sometimes I do. I don't read my mentions.
You don't read a single mention?
Not single, but sometimes I'll have to for example, retweet a production company thing, or so I'll have to see what certain times,
things. But again, whatever is needed.
Whatever's if somebody tells me okay, check this and you got to retweet it, you got to
So that itself
this is to promote to promote
wow,
the movie.
Sumanth, amazing.
So I don't read my mentions. Like 95% of the time, I don't read my mentions, nor do I get Google reminders as to what's written about me. Like
You don't get
anything
any
like
of that.
I don't.
That itself, like keeping your mind clutter free, it has become such a difficult thing for a lot of youngsters who are just
Yeah.
caught on to social media and too much information
Yeah.
needed, unneeded, not needed. So I think this is a great practice to.
It works for me, but some people can read all their mentions and be unaffected by them also.
You have people like that in your life?
Some people are like that too.
Wow.
So but see, I feel bad sometimes because sometimes when there'll be genuinely like a well-wisher or like a long-time fan who like write to you, and you might because of my practice you might miss out on like, because I try to avoid the clutter, like you might miss out on something genuine
and beautiful,
which I kind of feel bad about.
Okay.
And I apologize to like some of my fans and well-wishers who I do that, but unfortunately that's
okay.
Yeah, that's.
So now we know we've seen climate change, global warming is more real than the real. What can every individual, according to you, do when done collectively can have a huge impact in conserving or, working towards living a conscious life? Simple practices that you think that everybody must do, which might have an impact, which will have an impact rather.
First, we just have to accept that climate change is happening. A lot of people don't even accept it. I think, and then what I do is like, I don't try and pretend to be an expert. Like, okay, this is happening, global warming. Okay, here it's raining, here it's snowing. What can we do? Like, what I do is I tend to, if something is that very important, you get to know about it anyway. Like, but 10 people talk about it. Like, I don't try to go out of my way as an obsession. Like, some people do that and I admire them. And like, and like Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. If for him, everything is, he doesn't post anything about his own movies about anything. It's only about climate change. He wants to. I admire that. I mean, that there's something really noble about that.
Right.
I can never be like that. But I try to do like, just learn like small things and just start off that way. Like, for example, I think someone like me who's a minimalist
that itself,
and who tries to follow like need-based living in itself is like kind of like reduces your carbon footprint on the world.
It does.
So
in a huge way.
Yeah. So I try to kind of like, do that consciously a little bit more than what comes organically to me.
So this is what you think every individual should do. That my question was like, what can everyone do?
What can everyone do? Follow someone like, that you admire, that like, that you think he or she knows about climate change and listen to them. Because we all can't be experts on this.
Exactly.
Like, for example, like, if, okay, is this the time right now to like, change from a combustion engine to an electric vehicle? Okay. If 10 people are talking about it, and like, if the government is giving you subsidies for all this stuff, do it. Like I would tell people like, to make a conscious effort to go electric. But again, the government also should help people go electric. Like, I'm in the process of, for example, of getting a solar paneling done at home. But it's so expensive that only you can't expect everybody to have that done. Right. So do everything in a small way.
Whatever
like,
you can.
Yeah. Like I would say like definitely need-based living. Try and do that. Everybody can't do that.
And everybody cannot do 100%.
Yeah.
They could probably address few things in their life.
Yeah. So just be a little more conscious about
that's nice.
like, I don't know, small things.
Right.
Like, maybe like, using your air conditioner less, or like, switching to an electric car, or like, just using a bike sometimes, like, cycling instead, like just small things like that.
Right.
I'm not an expert in this, but
whatever you think.
I tend to follow like people, like, what practice you can do,
Hmm.
like, I make an effort to do it.
Sumant, I've known you for so long and you are a cleanliness freak. And you're
Yeah.
so finicky, and I think I wouldn't be hesitating to call you an OCD.
Yeah, I have that. But
Where did you pick it up from, and what is that
I
gets onto your nerves?
don't know. It's not as bad as, like, um, see, for example, if somebody is not clean, like, I don't force that. I don't tell the other person, like, you should be clean, you should be clean. I'll just quietly clean after them, like small things, like, if I attend like a dinner or something like that, like, if I see, like, for example, if I see a glass there without no coaster, I'll just quietly take the coaster and put it, like, under the glass. Or, like, if I see empty, like, plates that need to be cleaned, like, I just like doing that.
Where did you get this from?
I have no idea, like, I have
None
no
of
idea.
them. I mean, anyone from your
I have
family?
my dad to a certain degree, but not really. Like, I don't see anybody else in my family who has that. I'm not really sure.
I remember
I
once
don't know.
you just cleaned the glass ring.
I think so.
I'm like, why is he cleaning something which I messed up?
Oh God, I've cleaned, like, yeah. There are some legendary stories regarding
Right.
my cleaning, but I enjoy it.
You enjoy it.
I really enjoy it. I
And
don't.
it's
I don't think I'm
good.
obsessed by it. I don't.
I don't know. Someone like me would see it as an obsession, but
Like, I won't. It won't be at the cost of me not enjoying an evening. Like,
okay. No, yeah. You do your job
I'll
quietly.
just do it quietly, because I'll sit and talk to you. After a while, like, we'll run out of things to say to each other. So, like, I'll just
Start
quietly, like,
cleaning.
okay, you talk when you're talking to another person. I'll just quietly, like, go take the empty glasses away and put them somewhere. So a lot of people actually joke to me, like, I should like
No, but it's
run a
a
cleaning
very
company,
nice.
and
Oh,
I should
God.
run a cleaning company, and like, a lot of people joke.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people
You might
do
be
that.
good at that.
Yeah.
Meaning, even to train somebody, like you're so
Yeah.
meticulous that way. But hygiene and cleanliness is good, anyways. So I was just, like, I just wanted to bring this out so people know
Yeah.
something different
Yeah.
about you.
Yep.
Suman, before we end the questions, usually we ask the guests to make one resolution on my show that you would follow for the rest of your life. Sustainable, change.
Okay. It's funny that you mentioned this. I was just thinking about it yesterday,
Okay.
because when I Swiggied ice cream,
Oh.
and they sent me, like, plastic, like, spoons, I was so upset at myself for, like, telling them not to. So I think from now on, like, whatever I order, like, on Swiggy, or, like, I'm just going to make sure that, like, they don't send utensils, or I'm going to make it a practice to order from places that don't have plastic.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm going to do that, like, because
That's
you
great.
see a lot of, because that's something that we all can do. And if we do that, and if we make that a practice, like, people will sort of move away from plastic containers to, like, regular, like, card, whatever, like,
Yeah, that
what you
sustainable
sent
packaging.
what you sent me, like, halim in,
Yes.
like, like last week.
Yes.
So that
the
people,
cardboard
the
box.
cardboard ones, people
Yeah.
can do that. I think that's my resolution.
Since so many of them are ordering Swiggy these days, I
Yeah.
think this one itself
Yeah, just tell
can,
them.
kind of reduce so much
Yeah.
of plastic, single-use plastic.
Tell them I'm not ordering from you because you're sending it in plastic. They'll
okay.
only shift.
Yeah. So you have to demand.
Yeah.
Then they make a change.
Yes. Yeah.
Fabulous. So one last thing before we call it a day. We have a rapid choice round. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You just have to select one between the two.
This is the one that gets everyone in trouble, no?
No. No, I'm not really, because
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
this is more to know you a little more. Rapid choice round. You have to just select one. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
Grasslands or forests?
Grasslands.
Nobody ever answered grasslands on my show, as far as I remember, which is interesting. Caves or valleys?
Valleys.
Birds or animals?
Animals.
A plant or a tree?
A plant.
Water, fire?
Water.
Sun or the moon?
Sun.
Sun. Roses or lilies?
Lilies.
Fruits or veggies?
Veggies, of course.
Farming or gardening?
Right now, garden.
Gardening. Okay. Sunrise or sunsets?
Sunrise.
Okay. You're an early riser, right?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
A river or an ocean?
River.
Yeah.
River.
Rain or snow?
Rain.
Biking or trekking?
Neither. I'm lazy when it comes to both, but I would say biking.
Biking?
Yeah.
Okay. Camp or a cottage?
Cottage.
Bit comfortable, right? Okay.
Yeah.
House or a farm?
House.
City or a village?
You'll be surprised. City.
Okay. City boy.
City boy, but I just want to be in the city, but like have access to things in the city, but I live like it's a village.
Okay, that's a good one. And
Yeah.
I will not deny this. Yeah, you're so true. I mean, so right about this. Skydiving or scuba diving?
Damn, man. Neither.
Neither.
I have vertigo, so neither.
Okay. Okay. Summer, winter?
Winter here in Hyderabad, not winter like where you go skiing and all. I don't want to be caught dead like doing all that. Huh?
Oh, those winters are bad.
Yeah. Not those winters. Hyderabad winters.
Hyderabad winter. You just want to be very clear about that. Salad or a smoothie?
Salad.
Okay. We're done. Thank you, Sumanth,
My pleasure.
being
It was
on my
lovely.
show and sharing some of the things even I didn't know in the last few years about you and about A.N.R. Garu.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time again.
Lovely being here, Shilpa.
Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. Please subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for more updates. Signing off, Shilpa Reddy.